Hey everybody! Welcome back to another Spec Egg adventure. Today we're going to be doing a track review for our recent track day at Buttonwillow. Stay tuned until the end. I will be doing a quick impression / review of the Porterfield R4s that I recently put onto my car in a previous video. So let's get started with Tommy's.
So this is my second time going to Buttonwillow with this car. This time around, the difference is I have coilovers on. The stock suspension I did was a 213. This time around was a 211.
All right, let's get into the video.
I think I took the cotton corners pretty well. I went in the way I set it up. I'm catching up to that red Porsche pretty quickly. I had to slow down for the red Porsche. I thought he would give me a point by here, but he didn't. I was doing a 210, and then I was looking at the aim solo. It was like 210 and then 211. It was like getting long, and the lap time was getting slower and slower.
Yeah, if you didn't have to lift or
Yeah,
back
I had to
off
really
because
back
of
off.
the car in front of you, I think you would have had a faster time for sure.
Right.
Who's in the front?
The chatter. Yeah, so he still wouldn't let me go. So at this point, like my lap time was like a 211.9, but originally, like before I was going up to the red car, I was having a 210. I did a 211.9. Yeah, so I think I could be faster. I think I could, if it wasn't because of the red Porsche, I would definitely had a 210. Granted that these tires, I have like 9 to 10 track days on them already. Hopefully I can get under sub 210. It's this time you have the 200 tread wear tire and race pads.
I ended up getting up to 4th through this, coming up to this turn at the end of the day, although I'm not too sure if that's actually the proper gear to be in though.
Oh,
Because I ended up
this
bogging
turn?
in 3rd, so.
Yeah, I think you can shift into 4th.
For sure overslowed for this turn. I can for sure take it a lot faster. It's just a confidence issue here with the new setup.
I noticed you tuck Uli in here like all the time.
I tried different lines.
Yeah.
I normally don't like to stay outside, just in the off chance that I end up understeering. I would, if I understeered, I would have more area, more track to play with.
Oh shit.
This turn, for sure, I can take it wider. I was just playing around with like different lines and stuff throughout the day.
Yeah, this last turn, like you hit the
I always do, but I also feel like I shouldn't.
It's pretty harsh.
Like it's not really worth it to hit that deep into the apex.
Yeah.
This was a 217. So the previous Buttonwillow Trackday actually did a 221, but that was on 340 treadwear tires. So obviously coming into this Trackday, I have a brand new setup with brand new 200 treadwear tires and a whole new set of race pads, the R4s. So most of what this day was me getting used to the setup. Speaking on the brake pads, I came from stock pads, and you know, like I've been tracking on stock pads for like the past 3 to 4 years. And the thing with those, tracking on those pads, is that it tends to like condition you into braking early, or if you're braking too much on the pads, your pads tend to get mushy, and so you end up dialing back or getting conditioned into not pushing those pads too hard. This day was just about me learning how to drive on race pads. And then with regards to the 200 treadwear tires, compared to the 340 treadwear and also to the 500 treadwear that I've driven on, they are much less communicative. They don't communicate as much. They do communicate in a way, but they're less loud, and I'm not talking about like audible loud, not like noise loud. I'm talking about road feeling. When you're driving on like 340 treadwears, as I have been for the last like 3-4 years, when you're driving on it, they communicate so much. They're so vocal about what it is that they are able to do and what they're not able to do. So I just wanted to go over like, you know, the different turns and stuff. Approaching off-ramp, generally in the beginning of the day, I was approaching it at the top of third. And later on towards the day, I noticed I was maxing out at third, and the car was kind of bogging and it just wasn't really optimal. So nearing the end of the day, I ended up going up to fourth. But then I have an issue with not maximizing my entire like gear range, like the RPM range. I think I need to maximize more of third before I go into fourth. But then there comes the issue of like once you shift in the fourth, then you automatically have to shift back to third.
It's an awkward spot. Some cars, you just hit the ref limiter.
I do.
Yeah.
Approaching cotton corners, I can definitely carry much more speed into there, but obviously you have to be careful with how much speed you're carrying because there's an immediate left turn. And then coming out of cotton corners, I'm always a little sketched with that because I don't know how much of a track out I have. But I do feel that, I mean, just given my PB lap, I could give a little bit more speed there. And bus stop, I can for sure give more speed there, probably enter it, like straighten out that line a little bit more. Going into Riverside, I tend to stay more towards the inside because I was used to non-grippy setup. But now that I have a much grippier setup, I think next time I want to try maintaining more of a middle line, aiming towards the inside. I tend to brake a little bit more than I need to going over Phil Hill, but then it's also kind of sketch. I also don't really take Phil Hill in a straight line, I notice, which you kind of should.
Yeah.
There's some line adjustments I need to look at there. And then going into the sweeper, this entire day I've been trying to go towards the inside, but I also early brake because I don't really trust myself with my brakes yet.
Yeah.
Which normal people do brake really, really late. And that's tends to be like the faster line. I was trying that line out, and regardless of the braking late or not, I do notice that I tend to not swing out far enough, which is what I want to try next time, is to kind of pivot the car so that the car stays on the outside of that track so that I can turn into a straight line. Currently, I don't really do that. I kind of stay towards like the middle-ish. I have this like kind of weird fear where like if I stay towards the outside, I would end up shooting off the track. So there's some confidence boost that's needed there. And then obviously for sunset, as I mentioned before, there's a really big dip on the apex, and I hit it every time. My car settles fine every time, but I think that with hitting it and making my car unsettled and me probably hopping, it actually probably takes some speed off of my car. So I think the plan for the next time is to not hit it, maybe stay towards a little bit further out of actually the inside of the apex.
It was your first time on these tires, so I would give it more time, getting used to it. I'm sure like the next time around you'll PB again. Yeah,
I don't know. I think I would be happy with a 212 on this setup. That's 5 seconds, but I think it's completely doable. All right. So, as promised, I'm going to go into a little bit about the Porterfield R4s. Okay. I think for modulation-wise, they're great. So, if you're talking about kind of like 100% of the travel on your brake pedal, right? I think up to 75%, there is modulation there. There's definitely modulation, and you can definitely, like still brake in time, and there's still a relatively good amount of brakes. Later end of the track day, where I was like, okay, like these are race pads, let me really try to benefit from them and really step on them. And that was when I tried to step more near towards like the 90%, 85-90% of the travel. And that was when it really, the braking power really came in. During hard braking, like you can actually hear the brakes. You can hear them go like that when you're actually braking. Under like hard braking instances. As far as braking power, I think they're a really good transition into race pads for a person that's coming from OEM pads. They have a lot of there's a lot of modulation for like, let's say a novice driver like me to go into, so it doesn't feel too overwhelming. It doesn't slow your momentum to the point where it doesn't slow your car to the point where it kills off all of the momentum. I think it's a really good transition pad. So thank you guys for watching. And then we probably won't have another video until after Christmas. So Merry Christmas. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays with your family, and we will see you very soon. Stay tuned for another Spec Egg adventure.